The US and Canada share the world's longest undefended border in a deep alliance built on mutual respect. This relationship is a model of cooperation. It's about people, families, friends, and neighbors crossing the border. We care for each other's teams and stand together in crisis. From NORAD to trade, the interdependence is immense. Disagreements test the partnership, but rust endures. The Alaska Highway is more than a road. It's a living monumento, the US-Canada alliance. It's built in 1942 as a military necessity during World War I. It was a joint effort to defend the continent. In just 8 months, US and Canadian teams carved a vital supply route through brutal terrain. After Thur, the highway became Alaska's economic lifeline, connecting it to Theris of North America. For Alaskans, it's not a scenic detour. It's their connection. To the outside world, smooth passage of goods and people hazelways symbolize the trust between the two nations. The highway also became a symbol of adventure, drawing thousands of travelers and fostering cultural exchange. Roadside businesses in both countries depend on this steady stream of traffic. It's a testament to how infrastructure can connect people and build lasting relationships. That's what makes the current situation so painful. The highway was born from shared vulnerability and commitment, and its legacy is one of unity, not division. The idea that this vital corridor could be restricted was once unthinkable. Now that legacy is at risk. In early 2025, British Columbia shocked Alaska by imposing a $750 toll on us. Register odometer trucks using the Alaska Highway. The announcement came without warning or consultation, leaving Alaska musiness and truckers blindsided. For a state reliant on the highway for nearly all ground-transported goods, Thedel was a direct blow. Prices on everything from groceries to construction supplies were set to Riziand. The sense of betrayal was palpable. The lack of communication stung as much as the financial impact. Alaskan leaders had no chance to negotiate or prepare. Trust built over decades seemed to evaporate overnight. Supply chains were thrown into disarray, and some trucking companies questioned if they could continue serving Alaska. The $750 fee became a barrier on a road meant to be a bridge. The shockwave rippled through Alaska's economy, turning a simple offering ship into a source of anxiety and resentment. A single decision had upended a long-standing partnership. Alaskans see the toll as unjust, a violation of the highway's historic spirit. They argue the Alaska Highway is a unique international corridor built for mutual benefit and defense. Taxing commerce, it was meant to facilitate feels like a betrayal. The toll targets U.S. trucks, making it feel like a tax on Alaska's economy. Alaskans point out they already support BC community assure fuel, lodging, and services. They see the toll as an aggressive cash grab, ignoring the broader economy context. British Columbia, meanwhile, frames the toll as a matter of fairnesses and fiscal responsibility. Maintaining the remote highway is expensive, with costs rising due to climate change and heavy truck traffic. BC officials argue Canadian taxpayers have subsidized the route for too long. Say U.S. trucks cause the most wear and tear, so it's only fair they contribute. Toll roads are common worldwide, and BC insists this is a standard user pay principle. Claim the decision isn't hostile, but necessary to keep the highway safe and reliable. For BC, it's a practicalogist into modern realities, not a betrayal of history. Both sides feel justified, but the gap between them is wide. The question remains, who should bear the cost of this vital link? What began as a regional dispute quickly spiraled into a diplomatic and economic conflict. Alaskan Trucking Association's practice, some drivers refused to pay, and delivery delays mounted. The issue made Alaskan media and became a top political priority. Alaska's leaders called for federal intervention and threatened retaliatory measures like new inspection fees and tolls on BC exports. The Canadian and U.S. federal governments, initially slow to react, were forced to engage as tensions rose. Diplomatic channels were activated, but the standoff strained the U.S.-Canada relationship. Businesses on both sides grew anxious as threat of a wider trade war loomed. A localized dispute now, threatened billions in cross-border commerce. The standoff showed how quickly a lack of communication can endanger even the strongest partnerships. A single road had become the Fault Line 9, a century-old alliance. The consequences of this dispute reach far beyond Alaska's grocery prices. USA-Canada trade relationship is one of the world's largest and most integrated. If this conflict sparks retaliator tariffs, it could set a dangerous precedent for protectionism. The stability of this partnership relies on trust and established trade rules, both now at risk. Alaskan businesses face closures and job losses, while businesses lose revenue from reduced traffic. If Alaska retaliates against beef exports, key Canadian industries could suffer. Economic pain on one side will inevitably be felt by the other. There are also security implications. The Alaska Highway is vital for military mobility and national defense. Any disruption could compromise readiness for both nations. Ultimately, the biggest risk is long-term damage to the US-Canada relationship. Resentment is replacing cooperation, and if left unresolved, this dispute could leave a lasting scar. The high stakes are ereminder. Even the strongest friendships raker, care, and communication. When thoroughd gets rough, both sides must find common ground. To de-escalate, both sides must commit to practical negotiation. The first step is direct, respectful communique, bringing together Alaska, BC, and both federal governments. Public threats must give way to quiet diplomacy. A temporary suspension of the toll and retaliatory measures would create space for real dialogue. The toll could be restructured, perhaps tiered by vehicle weight or distance, with lower rates for essential goods. An annual pass for frequent users could ease the burden on Alaskan truckers. A joint infrastructure and supported by both countries could maintain the highway as a shared asset. Any solution must be built on shared benefit and sacrifice. Both sides need to acknowledge the highway's unique role and each other's needs. The goal: keep the Alaska Highway open, reliable, and a symbol of partnership for generations. The Alaska Highway was built to unite to allies in a time of crisis. For over 80 years, it's been a symbol of US-Canada friendship. The current dispute threatens to turn that symbol into a source of division. Rebuilding trust will require more than a financial fix. It demands renewed commitment to communication and cooperation. Leaders must remember their decisions affect real people. Truckers, business owners, families. The goal isn't to win, but to solve the problem and strengthen the partnership. This crisis is a wake-up call. Even close friends can stumble without consultation. Moving forward, both countries must recommit to open dialogue and respect. The Alaska Highway should unite, not divide. It must remain a lasting bridge between two great nations.